hope I would ever meet him again. But when Zaroff entered the clearing, the first tree remembered the magicians. When it recognized the threat that the apprentice posed, the first tree brought to life and sent out the memory of his teacher. So, the memory of the Marquis de Hoto, shaped long before his own corruption set in, left the clearing of the first tree, and promptly forgot that it was nothing but a memory. And once again, he was a true tree walker. He set forth to find himself an apprentice, somebody who would be able to stop Zaroff. He answered your call. The roots of the first tree run deep, even into our dreams. The Marquis found you, Jerry, because you had a dream.
What will happen to Zaroff now?
This place might be his only salvation. He will remain in the shadow of the first tree. The Marquis, the first tree, they were right. You went beyond yourself. That's how you finally got to this place and faced down Zaroff. The Marquis made you a true tree walker, but you were forced to pay a high price. When the Marquis went from idea to reality by entering your world, something else had to go. Your father, as though through a revolving door, the Marquis came to life, and your father was lost in the rift between worlds and forgotten. But do not worry. You saved us all, and very soon we will return the favor. An acquaintance of mine once said, "Only those who get on the way can find their way." And so it came to pass that Jerry had to leave his mentor behind in the clearing of the first tree. Jerry knew that he had been more than the memory of a courageous, one-of-a-kind tree walker, more than the first tree of Mousewood needing Jerry's help. He had been a friend. Then, for the last time, the Marquis slowly turned and lifted his hand as if to wave goodbye.
I will never forget you,
said Jeremiah Hazelnut.
And I will never forget you,
came the reply from the shadows at the foot of the tree. And the boy knew the Marquis, the tree, he would remember him. When Jerry returned to Mousewood, lost in thought, there was music in the streets, because for the first time in a long while an apprentice had come to Mousewood to study the art of arts. And for the first time in a long while, the Treetop Festival, the celebration of friendship and courage, was held in honor of an apprentice who had finished his training, in honor of the tree walker, Jeremiah Hazelnut, the rabbit's apprentice.
Isn't this a grand table? We put it together yesterday in a hurry.
Very stylish, boys.
And it was great fun too.
Yes, diligent work is fun.
You again. Isn't this a grand... We put it together. And it...
Yes.
You
Not on duty then?
No, Penny is now the Crow Scout. He has to stay away from the cannon now. A few nights ago, he shot glow nuts at the town. I knew there was something wrong with him.
Poor Penny.
I love the Treetop Festival. I come here every year. I have this magic premonition that you will not be the last apprentice the people of Mousewood acknowledge in this fashion.
Mr. Spitzweg, What are you doing here?
Well, I heard that in your honor they were holding the Treetop Festival earlier this year. So, naturally, I turned right around and came back. You must tell me all about your adventures.
And you tell me about yours.
Oh, you'll come and see me soon. I brought some lovely kelp tea from the coast.
They are holding the Treetop Festival unusually early this year, but sometimes it's a really good thing to revive old traditions. This is the most fun I've had in ages.
Glad to hear it.
This is a great party. Almost makes you forget all your troubles.
Cherry, I heard you're about to leave us. I hope you'll visit us again soon.
Sure, I live just around the corner. Well, so to speak.
Really? How far's that on a bike?
Just a portal away.
Oh, well then you'll have to show us your home soon.
Cherry, I heard you're about to leave us. I hope you'll visit us again soon.
Sure, I live just around the corner. Well, so to speak.
Really? How far's that on a bike?
Just a portal away.
Oh, well then you'll have to show us your home soon.
And, how's your experiment with the exploding cookies going?
Plato, my little cream puff, was really impressed.
Ribbit!
But we won't know what the folk of Mousewood will think until next weekend. That's when I'll start selling them.
Sounds great.
Yes, we've been very lucky lately. Sometimes I even dare to hope that old Uli will come back.
I hope you like the cupcakes too.
No, I don't really go for sweet things. They're not good for the teeth either. Yummy carrots, on the other hand. Ooh, I could gorge on those all day.
Somehow, I'm not surprised. Then why don't you order a carrot cake from Anya next time around?
Is that supposed to be funny?
Dance at last! Oh yes! Oh hey!
Have you seen my son by any chance? He wrote me a letter saying he wants to retire to Coconut Palm Islands.
Would you believe it?
Just as I said. He's a born comedian. I bet he's sitting behind some mushroom, thinking up new material for our show.
Hey, is it true that you saw the fox?
Yes, and I befriended it.
How cool is that? Much cooler than my stupid violin.
I hope you like the cupcakes too.
No, I don't really go for sweet things. They're not good for the teeth either. Yummy carrots, on the other hand. Ooh, I could gorge on those all day.
Somehow, I'm not surprised. Then why don't you order a carrot cake from Anya next time around?
Is that supposed to be funny?
Here they all go again, drinking our juice. Typical. Bah! They have good taste. Whatever would they do without us wood dwarves, eh? Here they all go again, drinking our juice. Typical. Bah! They have good taste. Whatever would they do without us wood dwarves, eh?
Here's our tree walker now. I hope I can interview you soon. Then you can let us in on how you tamed the lizards, chased off the crows, and defeated the evil magician.
Okay, but
No false modesty, please. You've got a good face for the radio.
Isn't it amazing how my friend can dance? I wish I could dance like that, but I look snazzier.
Hey, youngster, remember, just because your apprenticeship is finished, that doesn't mean you're a master now. You whippersnapper. Age and experience form the stablest foundation there is. Don't you forget that. And now let's celebrate. Here's to you.
not on duty then?
No, he has to.
Poor Penny.
Greetings, Jeremiah. The portals have recovered.
You can go home now, Jerry. Are you ready?
I want.
Come see it.
Greeting the port.
You can. Are you ready?
I want to say let's.
Come.
The portal.
You can. Are you?
And I'm going to come with you.
My father, my mother, will they be back?
They already are.
Cherry, we've been waiting for you for an hour. I've had to stop your dad from eating the entire blackberry pie himself.
I was hungry. I feel like I've been on my legs forever.
Me too.
And that's all Jeremiah could say. The fox girl still claims that he cried.
That's so not true.
Thus Jeremiah Hazelnut returned home, and thus ends our story. But with every ending, other stories begin. They are like waves in the ocean, always in motion, spilling over and intertwining. Some stories tell of huge problems we create for others that can barely be solved, even with courage, especially when you're nothing but a tiny mouse. But perhaps someone is going to step up. And then there are scary tales as well. Secret, forbidden ones that you can only tell behind closed doors. Are you suddenly cold too?
Who was that boy?
My friend's apprentice. Thank you for helping him. He broke Zarov's curse.
I underestimated Zarov, and that boy too. Will you finally free me from this prison, so that I may once again protect the portal worlds? This kind of thing must never happen again.
You know that this is impossible, old friend.
Nothing is impossible.
I'm just going to play the audiobook for the rest of the stream.
The first story of mice, squirrels, and mousewood forest. Between faraway fields and winding paths, there lies a forest crowded with mice and squirrels. So crowded, in fact, that even a mighty wizard with an even mightier beard couldn't wander the forest's paths without being asked by some tiny rodents for a lift, because they wanted to visit relatives who moved 3 clearings down the road a few years ago because there were gooseberries over there. And because there are so many mice, the forest is known as Mousewood Forest. But something was going on in the otherwise tranquil Mousewood Forest, a forest so peaceful that at noon all you would sense was the soft rustle of the wind in the treetops, the sweet scent of the pine needles, and a lone buzzing bee skipping its lunch break. Yes, something in this tranquil forest was disturbing the peace. For a few days now, some furry, fairly unhappy red squirrels had refused to refer to the forest as Mousewood Forest. The squirrels, as they saw it, were narrowly outnumbered by the grey mice. Why, they wondered, should Mousewood Forest only be known as Mousewood Forest? So they made a great effort to remind visitors out for a Sunday walk or a picnic that there were not only small grey mice, but also auburn squirrels with bushy tails and equally bushy ears. For example, under each sign that read Mousewood Forest, they attached a second, reading, "and Squirrelwood." Furthermore, a few squirrels with particularly fluffy red fur lay in wait behind tree stumps and hidden in foliage to jump out in front of passers-by, look at those humans with honest, beady eyes, and push the idea that this forest could just as well be called Squirrelwood. As a rule, most humans are startled when suddenly something pops out in front of them from behind something. This may lead to them no longer thinking about Mousewood Forest and its name, which could just as well be a different name. Instead, they may flee, never to return. Or they may even scream and shout, since they weren't expecting to be startled. Those who run away never to return, the squirrels reckoned, would probably call fair Mousewood Forest by its name, which might just as well be a different name. A startled, fleeing rambler might even call Mousewood Forest "Don't go there." And that, the squirrels concluded, would be even less desirable than Mousewood Forest. If people started screaming when startled by a small auburn animal, the serenity of the forest would be lost for good. And neither the squirrels nor the countless other forest dwellers, Not even the inhabitants of Mousewood, Mousewood Forest's capital, would want that. For serenity in a forest is no ordinary silence, like in a boring, noiseless room, but a cacophony of many tiny, likeable sounds. The wind wafting through the leaves, twigs clicking in the canopy, rustling down in the undergrowth, and the gentle creaking of towering trunks. So, if the squirrels wanted to purposely pop out from behind something, they had to be careful about doing it, without scaring anybody off or disturbing the forest's serenity. Those who know squirrels are probably wondering how anyone could possibly be afraid of the little fellows at all. Well, if a small animal with a bushy red tail suddenly crossed your path, you might be briefly startled, but in an instant you'd spot that the little animal was just as much taken by surprise as yourself. What would follow is a cautious glance and then a quick dash to safety. Then again, if a small animal with a bushy red tail and beady eyes leapt out in front of you when you're roaming the woods, and you happened to notice, after a fleeting moment of fright, that this squirrel was actually up to something, that it was standing in the way of somebody so much taller than itself on purpose, then such a small animal must surely be capable of anything. It'd probably run up to you really fast, climb up your legs and back until it reached the top of your head, and then start furiously tousling your hair with its tiny paws. In anticipation of this, anybody would run or scream, assuming they don't actually like getting their hair tousled by squirrels who are up to something. Since squirrels are generally not very fond of having their own fur tousled, they try and hide the fact that they leap out on purpose. It has to look like a coincidence. Even those blessed with beady eyes have to play act a bit if they want to appear surprised and shy, when they in fact aren't. Just this morning, around 9 o'clock, 3 squirrels decided to practice popping out from behind something, since, as you now know, it's easier said than done. Wait for it. Wait for it. Leap. Stop. Have a look round. Spot the rambler. Freeze. Stare at the rambler and straighten those tufted ears. Add a few skillful hops behind the next bush, spiral up that tree like an expert, and then watch the rambler's reaction from a safe distance. As if you really were surprised to see me. Well done, Oswald, said Edgar, one of the 3 squirrels. He had played the role of the rambler, roaming around before then getting a reminder of the striking number of squirrels living in these woods. He had held a large leaf, painted with a surprised human face, in front of him to make this training exercise as real as possible. Oswald, the 2nd squirrel, climbed nimbly down the tree, while Edward, the 3rd squirrel, who had only played the role of spectator during this run, hopped out of the nearby bushes. Yeah, really good, he confirmed. Flawless, even. Looked really realistic to me. Thanks, Oswald said. It was time to switch roles. Since Oswald already knew the ropes of popping out from behind something, it was his turn to watch from the bushes. He was in an excellent position to tell Edgar, who had just played the rambler, if he was also good at popping out from behind something, or if there was anything he could improve on. Edward just had to stroll along the path and carry the leaf with a face on it in front of him. When Edgar popped out, by chance, and confronted Edward, the latter froze as if petrified. The leaf in his paws began to shake, as did his legs and, eventually, his squirrely tail. He seemed truly shaken. Shaken like a rambler afraid of a squirrel tousling his hair. Faced with this, Edgar completely forgot that he had to act like a shy squirrel and was supposed to scurry up the next tree. Instead, he just stared, stock still, at the face painted on the shaking leaf. Edward took his role of a startled visitor very seriously. As soon as he noticed that the animal with the red bushy tail and beady eyes that had suddenly popped out in front of him wasn't in the least bit shy or frightened, he shook even more. "Ah!" he yelled, certain that this was how somebody afraid their hair was about to be tousled would yell. He turned and ran away as fast as he could. And because he was determined to be as convincing as possible, he disappeared for a few days. After waiting for a couple of hours, Edgar and Oswald were no longer in the mood to continue their training. They sat down by a small stream running through the forest and thought. They thought about training, and about the fact that thinking about training was already a good training exercise in itself, sometimes. And then they thought about acorns and nuts. After a while, a group of mice came along the bank of the stream. "Hello there, a very good day to you." "How are you?" Edgar responded. "Good day to you too," said Oswald. One of the mice stepped forward and took a small leaf with writing on it from his rucksack. After clearing his throat, the mouse began to read aloud. "Dear Squirrels, we, the mice, know you don't really like the name Mousewood Forest. Since your kind is so numerous in this forest, it might just as well be named after you. Since noticing how much effort you put into reminding people that the forest could be named differently, we wanted to invite you to a meeting where we will consider, together with the other forest dwellers, what to do about the situation." The mouse rolled up the leaf and put it back in his rucksack. Oswald and Edgar thought briefly about what the mouse had just read to them. They concluded that if they didn't have to remind people that Squirrelwood would also be a fitting name for their forest, there would be plenty of time for all sorts of other things. And Edward would surely say there was no fun in hiding for ages just to play a scared rambler convincingly in order to practice popping out from behind something, if, that is, he weren't hiding right now. So they accepted the mice's invitation and followed them along the stream until they reached a clearing where many other forest dwellers were already gathered. Mice, squirrels, hedgehogs, dwarves, hares and bears, and many more inhabitants of the forest were sitting on benches made from long branches or standing next to tables set with freshly baked blueberry pie. They were chatting about this and that and other things. One young badger was talking to a hedgehog about fishing at the pond. A beaver was discussing the quality of lumber with the hedgehog brothers. Two little mice were playing tag with the rabbit kids, while their mothers tried to persuade a grumpy wood dwarf to reveal the recipe for a drink made with dwarf root. On a stump sat Conrad, the great owl. He was a member of the town council, and his great owl eyes looked benevolently upon the crowd of animals, dwarves, and whoever else had gathered there. "Hoot!" he called out with a deep and calm voice, instantly gaining the audience's attention. "My dear friends," he began, "as you may be aware, we have gathered here to resolve the dispute about the name of our forest. I am honoured to hold the chair of this assembly. Many of the squirrels among us would like to see Squirrelwood as the legitimate name for our home. Well, seeing as there are a good deal of squirrels here in our forest, their wish is hardly surprising. But let us not dwell on that." He slowly closed his eyes, only to open them again in an instant, as if he had had a sudden stroke of genius. "A forest called Mousewood Forest. What kind of forest would come to someone's mind who was, not familiar with our beloved woods?" Conrad's head turned inquisitively as his gaze wandered across the gathering. Animals, dwarves,